Good afternoon, everyone. I am Robert from Jobs 180, and welcome to Jobs 180's Marketing Me Live. Now, today's session is done for our school partners in Mandaluyong and Pasig. So, thank you very much for joining us. But before we continue, I would first like to invite you to join us for a short prayer.
Praise God from whom all blessings flow. Praise Him, all creatures here below. Praise Him above, ye heavenly hosts. Praise Father, Son, and Holy Ghost.
Okay, so once again, thank you for coming. Now, we would like to get to know you better, our viewers better. So please comment your name, school, course, the year that you graduated, or the year that you are graduating. From looking at our comments now, I see a lot are already doing this. I'm guessing ito ay from RTU. As much as this webinar is done for our school partners in Mandaluyong and Pasig, I understand na ang RTU, this is a series of webinars for you. This is your fourth, and this would be yung last nyo if I'm not mistaken. But again, pwede din naman kayo sumama sa mga succeeding webinars natin after. But of course, this session is for our school partners, Mandaluyong and Pasig in particular, Arellano University, JRU, LCC, PCC, PLP, UANP, and SPC, FLCF. So ito ang aming mga school partners in Mandaluyong and Pasig. And as mentioned, ito ay kasama ang RTU. So with that said, I would like to share to you a short message from Rizal Technological University's Director for the Cooperative Education Center, Engineer Armando P. Matias.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is my great joy and privilege on behalf of the Rizal Technological University and other universities and colleges to welcome you to Jobs 180 Marketing Me Live. Welcome, everyone. First of all, we would like to acknowledge the dedication, commitment, and innovativeness of Jobs 180 for bringing us together in this activity despite the pandemic. Through thick and thin, Jobs 180 is our loyal partner, connecting us with our industry partners and assisting us in developing our interns for their future employment. We would also like to express our gratitude to all our speakers who unselfishly sharing their wisdom and knowledge. And to you, our dear students, and other online viewers, thank you for the willingness to learn and to explore new things. Today, we are so blessed to have this webinar. Relevant topics will be shared to us by experienced speakers from our industry partners. For that, we encourage all of you to listen attentively and participate actively to maximize your learnings. Again, welcome to this webinar. Take care of yourselves and each other. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Matias, for welcoming our viewers, not only from RTU, but also sa other school partners namin in Mandaluyong and Pasig. Now, na-mention ni Engineer Matias kanina ay magbibigay kami ng relevant topics by experienced speakers. So, I would like to show these topics to you now. Yan. Pakita na natin sa inyo ang topics na pagdadaanan natin ngayon. First is managing your online identity. We have a speaker from Jobs 180, developing leadership skills from Greenfield Marketers 1. And then the last, work opportunities in Mandaluyong and Pasig. We will have a panel discussion with representatives from BDO Unibank, Inspiro, ISSICO, and PSB Technology Services. Now, our flow sa first two topics natin is that the speaker would give their talk, and then after that, we will have a short Q&A. And then for our last topic, as mentioned earlier, panel discussion siya. So we have a questions for different members of the panel. But whether first, second, or third topic, I encourage everyone na comment nyo ang questions nyo dyan sa comment box. We will monitor your comments and then we will address it sa ating mga speakers later on. Okay? So moving on, I would like to introduce now our first speaker. Again, our first speaker will be talking about managing your online identity. Our first speaker has 20 years of experience in sales, marketing, business development, customer service, operations, business process, and human resources. As a trusted resource speaker, he has done over 1,000 career development seminars in more than 400 colleges and universities nationwide. Let us all welcome Mr. Kim Chua, the Managing Director of Jobs180.com. Hello, Sir Kim.
Hello, Sir Robert. Good
Hello,
afternoon.
Sir Kim. Good
Good afternoon
afternoon.
po. Hi.
Yes, so you will be talking about managing your online identity. So I think this is very relevant. Maybe lahat nga ng viewers natin ay meron nitong online identity. So they are looking forward sa talk mo about this. And actually,
I
pati
think-
ako makikinig dito dahil hindi ko alam kung okay bang online identity as of now. So, sir, test na natin ang inyong screen bago ako
alamin
umalis.
natin. Alamin natin kung ano nangyari sa ating online identity.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
here. I am sharing my screen now. I am doing my full screen. I hope you can see it in a bit.
Loading. I can see your presentation. Pa-full screen na lang, sir.
Okay. I think that's up.
And now it's okay. So,
It's
audio is fine, your video is fine, and then presentation okay. So, I will be backstage and back here for our short Q&A. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay. Yes. Thank you, Sir Robert, for the introduction. Good afternoon again, everyone. From those Mandaluyong and Pasig schools. Ako po si Kim Chua. Lagi yung nagbibiro, no? Baka Kim Chu lang ang maalala ninyo. Do not forget yung Kim Chua. Yan talaga po ang aking pangalan. So, for this afternoon, I will be sharing with you a different topic. This is about managing your online identity. So, ano nga ba ibig sabihin ng online identity? Have you ever thought of ano ang lalabas kapag ka sinearch nyo ang sarili nyo? O, diba? Sige, bago tayo pumunta dyan, let's start. In the past, sa panahon dati, ang laging sinasabi, first impressions last. Sa panahon ngayon, present time, hindi na yon enough. Meron ng karugtong. First impressions last a lifetime. Bakit a lifetime? Because of the advent of internet. Diba? Kung alam nyo, when you put information in the internet, oftentimes, even if matagal na yon, it will still come out. That is the reason why I have some bad news and some good news for you. The bad news is, unahin ko na yung bad news para matanggal na. The bad news is, kung meron ka man ginawa or anything na information, this is it's very difficult to evade, kumbaga nandyan siya, no, lalo na if it's caught with the internet, if it's up on the internet, so it's difficult. Now the good news is you can start making a good profile. You can have a good identity moving forward. After nyo mapakinggan yung mga tips na share ko sa inyo, these are very practical tips. Forget about the bad news. Let's all focus on the good news. Okay? So, you've heard about these mga reminders in some of the TV commercials or ibang mga reminders dyan, left and right. It would say, think before you click. And ano yung isa? Pause before you post. Bakit? Kasi nga, once once you let your emotions run through and you don't decide about what you're doing, you just keep on, putting everything up, your emotions, your feedback, your comments, everything about you, your pictures, lahat, videos, it's so difficult to pull them down. Diba? Mahirap, maraming trabaho gagawin. So this is my first tip. Search yourself. Try to go to any search bar. Try to go to Google, go to Bing, go to Yahoo. Try to type your name. Tingnan mo lang kung anong lalabas. Kung hindi ka curious, sabihin mo sa kaibigan mo, pare, baka curious ka kung ano itsura ko or anong lalabas kapag sinearch mo yung name ko. Try mo nga i-search yung name ko. Baka lang. Baka lang. Okay? Meron kayong makita doon mga information that, you would want to, try to work on it. Okay? Because it will definitely reveal so many things about you. Di ba? May kasabihan, a picture paints 1,000 words. So this is one of those things. Sometimes you get to judge the people you haven't even met. Diba? O sige, tanungin ko kayo, maging practical tayo. Pagkakain kayo sa restaurant, diba ano una ginagawa? Nire-research nyo na muna ano yung menu. Inaalam mo na saan yung restaurant, inaalam mo na. Diba? Baka nga pati may-ari ng restaurant, kilala mo na eh. When you go to an interview, say for a company, what do? Sometimes when the HR calls you, nagpakilala siya, anong ginagawa mo? Inaalam mo na kagad sino yung taong yun. You go through online and find out sino siya. O sige, let's talk about personal stuff. Kung meron kang ka-date, halimbawa lang, meron kang i-date. So, nagchat-chat na kayo, nagkakilala na kayo and all that, and you want to learn more about this person, or may nagsabi na kaibigan mo, uy, Mari, papakilala kita dun sa kaibigan kong ganyan. Halimbawa, ano una mo ginagawa? Di ba sinesearch mo na kaagad? Aminin niya man o hindi, yan na talaga ang buhay natin right now. So, that's the first one. That's my first practical tip. Try to search yourself and see what will happen. Okay? Second tip, you have to clean up. Okay? You have to clean up. What? Clean up what? Clean up the contents that you do not want the world to see. If you've already done something in the past, you've already put some videos up, pictures up, and it's very difficult to do it. Pero kung kaya mo naman balikan and kaya mo pang hanapin yung kung saan ka naka-associate, kung sino nag-upload nun, pakiusapan mo na, pakitanggal na yung mga material na yan. Kung kaya pa, take control, okay, and be proactive. Let's go to tip number 3. Tip number 3 is you have to be consistent. The thing is, there is a serious side of you which you don't want your friends to see. And there's a party side of you, yung mga pa-party-party dyan pa, yung insert kalokohan side natin, which you don't want naman your boss to see. Now, this is the reality. How can you now merge with those two? Kung meron kang ina-upload online ngayon ng mga kalokohan na ayaw mo pakita sa mga boss mo or sa mga professional na affiliates mo, that's very difficult. And at the same time, di ba, kung masyado ka naman seryoso, lahat pinapakita mo puro serious side. Samantalang mga kaibigan mo, ayaw mo naman pakita yun, baka kantsawan ka. So you have to be consistent. Okay? So whether, you go for the serious side, party side, or somewhere in between, you just have to be consistent. And that's my tip number 3. Okay, let's go to tip number 4. Tip number 4, you have to be professional. You try to create more positive vibe. Ang mga vibe natin kasi madalas, minsan, may mga issue dito, issue dyan. Minsan nga hindi natin issue, nakiki-issue pa rin tayo, 'di ba? May mga usap-usapin diyan, pati tayo nakikisaw-saw din, 'di ba? Nakikiuso. So sometimes yung mga topics na 'yan, lalo na when it comes to religion, politics, yung mga culture, these are sometimes sensitive stuff or sensitive information that you might want to again pause before you post and think before you click. Kasi once you do that, it sometimes mixes up with your being professional. So try to create a more flattering image. You can start by showing more of yung medyo sa pang serious side mo para sa career mo naman ang isipin natin, 'di ba? Total yung mga social media niyan, ibang aspect yan 'di ba? And if your friends are really who your friends are, sabi nga nila, if they really are your friends, then they don't have to put up anything online for them to know you. And I'm sure they already know you, yung party side of you. So yung party side of you, medyo bawas-bawasan natin ng konti. Okay, doon na tayo sa medyo mas professional side na. Okay? Let's go to tip number 5. Tip number 5, you have to share common interests, share common passion. No? Ito yung mga things that will make other people, especially strangers, steer interest and get to know more about you. Kasi nga naman, di ba? Kung ikaw, mahilig ka, example, ngayon, nauso yung mga plantito-plantita. Halimbawa lang, mahilig ka rin makitanim-tanim. At talagang mahilig ka sa ganyan. So people who are in that same type of uso or same type of interest, they would get to know more about you. Let's say, mahilig ka magluto for a specific product. Halimbawa, siomai, mga dumpling, mahilig ka sa ganyan. At very creative ka sa mga paggagawa ng mga sample, mga sushi bake and all that. So people who are interested in that type of department or that area, sila rin yung mga mas magiging interesado sa anong ginagawa mo. Okay? You don't expect that a musician will be interested to learn more about what you're doing. If example lang, you are an artist in the sense that you are a painter. Halimbawa, baka hindi sila magtugma eh. Yan ang mga example ko. So, share common interests. Okay? Try to find yung passion mo and then dig deeper. Try to put it up online para you get to expand as well your network. Okay? Ito sinasabi kong tip na to, ito yung para sa mga hindi pa nakakilala sa inyo. Ito yung sinasabi ko. Kasi nga, I go back to the earlier statement I mentioned, sa mga kilala na kayo, kahit anong gawin mo, kilala na kayo. So, alam na nila eh. So, what's the point? Diba? They already know you. Then, let's just build our network further for those people who still doesn't know you and you want to create more network. Okay? Tip number 6. Ito. Controversial. 6 and 7. Mapapaisip kayo dito. Tip number 6. Your choice, your voice. This is about how you choose to tell the story. This is my interpretation of your online identity. When example lang, I type a certain name. Halimbawa lang, gagawa na lang ako Juan de la Cruz para generic. If I type the name Juan de la Cruz and that happens to be the person that I'm trying to research on, it definitely will tell me a story about that person kahit hindi ko pa siya kilala. Halimbawa, siya yung manager ng restaurant na pupuntahan ko or siya yung magiging interviewer ko sa pupuntahan kong kumpanyang ina-applyan ko. When I try to research, it will definitely give me a story. Kahit sabihin natin, aminin man natin o hindi, you will be able to connect it. At sabi nga, di ba, sabi doon sa Itbulaga, bawal ang judgmental. So dito, ganun din, di ba? Kahit na hindi sabihin kong wag na tayo maging judgmental, and sabi nga ng mga old sayings before, do not judge the book by its cover. Here, aminin man natin o hindi, we always have that impression eh. When we see, ganun. Meron na tayo kagad impression, di ba? So, it is important that if you are the one who's posting and you're creating your identity, you have the voice and you have your choice as to what information you're going to put up online. Okay? Number 7 will definitely make you think. And this is why my tip number 7 is makes you think. Ano yun? If there are enough people, okay? If enough people can be made to believe in a lie, then that lie becomes the truth. Think about it. Ulitin ko lang. If enough people can be made to believe in a lie, then it becomes the truth. Sometimes, biktima tayo ng maraming fake news. Biktima tayo ng maraming mga ganyan, mga chismis, gossips, left and right. Sometimes, we don't even know na lie pala yun. Because everyone's talking about it. Everyone seems to believe about it. And so what happens? It now becomes the truth, which we think. Diba? Which we think is the truth. But in reality, hindi naman. Tingnan mo to. Meron sinabi si Albert Einstein. Sabi niya, my biggest fear is that people will attribute fake quotes to me, to him. Okay? Millions of morons on the internet will believe it. When I encountered this picture, I was just laughing, by myself. Kasi sabi ko, ako mismo ginagamit ko si Albert Einstein in a lot of my ending quotes, 'di ba? So, again, it makes you think. Okay? So, dahil nasabi ko sa inyo yung mga practical tips na yan in terms of making your online identity, this is the right time that I also want to remind you, especially for those people who haven't had the chance yet to learn about the resume link. Now, for RTU yan, si mga taga-RTU, I think most of you already have this resume link. And maybe some of our school partners in Mandaluyong and Pasig are already and have heard of the resume link. But this time, for those who have not encountered this, let me just share how you can start to build your online identity. You start by creating your professional information. Okay, so how do you do that? Diba? Through the resume link. The resume link is very easy to create. Resume link is basically a personalized URL. Okay, it is a link that anyone can open online anytime, provided alam niya yung link mo. Para lang website, di ba? Parang domain. Pag alam mo yung link, you go for it and you type it in the browser, then something comes out. So dito, ang information na sinasabi ko, professional information. This is how you now start to build your profile, especially if you are looking for jobs or if you're exploring for opportunities. Why am I recommending the resume link? Because this is the most secured resume right now. And how to do that? you just follow the 3 simple steps. The first step is you have to register. By registering, you go to the website of jobs180.com. That's www.jobs180.com, and that is where you click on register. Upon registering, you have to make your resume link. And your resume link usually is based on your unique name. So what is a unique name? Pangalan mo is a unique name. Halimbawa lang, ako, Kim Chua. Ang link ko pwede maging kimchua.jobs180.com. Or kung pangalan mo John Santos, pwede maging johnsantos.jobs180.com. If ever lang may kapangalan ka na nauna sa'yo, then that you have to be a little creative. You can say Santos John, you can say J Santos or Santos J. It depends on how you're going to be creative. Now, reminder ko lang, talking about being professional, never do something like this. Okay? Do not be over creative and do not think that it is funny to create something like, if your resume would sound like bosspogi.jobs180.com, yes, it might be, something to laugh about or to something to be, worth smiling about because you think you are a boss and you are a pogi and your friends would be thinking na, oy, cool yan. But remember, if you want to create a professional identity, I recommend you just stick to your name. And whatever your name is, it will sound professional. Okay? Now, talking also about being professional in terms of your information, when you register, please use a valid email. Okay? Use email that you can open. Do not use emails like Facebook o yung mga example lang, kagaya to, yung mga kalokong email. Halimbawa lang, email mo ay michael@facebook.com. Do not use that because if you use @facebook.com na email, you will no longer be able to receive notifications being sent to you by the companies as well as jobs180.com. And more importantly, when you use an email that you can open, you have to verify your account because once you verify, it is now a proof that you have already registered and you're done by creating your account. Okay? So that's the first step. Register, it's for free. Second step, for those who are still not familiar with the resume link and for those who have created the resume link but are still not sure kung tama ba yung mga information na nilagay nyo, you have to follow my tips here on the second step. You have to complete the information. Now, how do you complete the information? Just simply go back to the website of jobs180.com. That's www.jobs180.com. And that is where you now click on log in. Remember, do not register again because you already have an account. This time, when you log in, you have to put your unique email and your password or your resume link and your password, which is, I think kayo lang may alam yan because you don't normally share naman your password to anyone. Now, once you're inside your account, you start to fill in the information. Now, at this point, I will not go through the details of what you need to put in because it's very simple. Just follow the information that you need to put in. If it says there contact number, then of course you put your contact number. If it says there your birthday, of course you put your birthday, address, then your address. So, so on and so forth. What I want to remind you here is that try to put all the possible means that an HR can contact you. So example, do not end by putting your phone number lang and your email. Try to put here your social media account because that, I think, is the fastest way for an HR to get in touch with you. Right? They just send you a private message, then they can really coordinate with the applicant or for you, okay, for that matter. Now, in terms of work options, you can set this up as well to make it more effective and easier for you to apply to companies by choosing which options you like. Halimbawa lang, you want to look for OJT, you say yes. You want to work overseas, you say yes. You want to work night shift, you say yes. You want to relocate, you're willing to relocate, you just say yes. And whether you say yes or no, what the system will do is it will try to match your profile to the profile of preference of those companies. And it will, you will expect companies to get in touch with you na more efficient. Hindi mo na kailangan mag-knock on the door of each of the companies just to give your resume link. Now, for the rest, like in terms of education, background, you put your schools here, seminars attended, you have attended a lot of seminars, you can put it here. There's no limit to the space. In terms of the certification, you can also put here your certification, your achievements, your skills. You don't only limit your skills inside your course, even outside of your course, you can also put it here. Languages, don't limit only to English and Filipino. If you know other dialect, local dialect, or foreign languages, you also put it here. When it comes to references, make sure that you inform your reference that you made them as a reference because normally when HR people call them, they will check about you. And when they ask those reference that you mentioned, and if the reference says, hindi kayo kilala, problema. Diba? So you have to make sure you inform them that you made them as a reference. Now, being professional also means that when you have information, remember some of the tips I mentioned to you, what are the things that you have to clean up and what are the things that you have to put up online? Right now, there's a big chance to look at the good news because you can now craft the information you want to build for yourself. You can start by going to the portfolio section. This portfolio section is where you can now put evidence of your skills. You can now start to upload here images, videos, anything, blog, documents about you. Okay, not only just about you being a professional, whether you join a certain organization or any other activities in the school or outside of the school. This is the way for you to do it. You start to practice by uploading information here, right, about yourself. Right? And I hope the information you put here are all positive, puro mga positive vibe. One of which that I am pertaining to is to create a selfie video. Nowadays, it is expected it is expected from an applicant that you are in a way tech savvy. Hindi kailangan sobrang techy na tipong hardcore programming. Hindi naman kayo programmer. Ang sinasabi lang ng mga HR dito is at least you know the basic tools of what to use, cell phones, gadgets, and all these. Okay? So when you look at my example here, I'm playing it now online. This is where you can now get your selfie or your cell phone and create a selfie video. You say something interesting about yourself. Maybe you can talk something under the sun or anything that would make that person listen to you more interested about what about you. Okay? Ang dami ko sinasabi, pati ako naguguluhan na. Teka lang, ulitin ko sinabi ko. When you do this, it will make the person looking at your video more interested about you. O yan, nais ko na yung pagkakasabi ko sa dami-dami nagja-jumble mix up na. Okay? And then, it is also where you now put your pictures here and make sure when you put your pictures, hindi yung mga pictures that are on the right side of the screen. Do not do something like that because it doesn't look professional. I am teaching you the tips and the guidelines here to at least make a professional identity in terms of your profile or for your information, okay? Especially when you look for a job, because I think a lot of listeners right now are in between jobs or are about to look for a job, okay? Or maybe someday later you might end up finding the need to have one, okay? So ito yung reason then, okay? In terms of uploading your cover photo for the resume links, upload pictures that would look professional and will reflect professional also, like what I'm showing you. This is something like examples that I usually use for science majors, for psychology graduates, for anyone, for any course. You can create something like this because this one would depict and say that you are, there's no shortcut to success. That is what you believe in. You have to take one step at a time. So this is a good example. Okay. Now, it is really up to you how you want to create your cover photo. But what I want to show you next is how effective the resume link is to the eyes of the HR or the employer, especially efficiency on the part of the applicant. Look at this example. Pretty much all the information are in here. So if you're the HR, what do you do next? You get to learn about that person. Diba? Baka nga hindi ka na masyado magbabother to do background checking kung sino si Juan de la Cruz because everything is here. Diba? And if the HR already sees everything about you, you being professional, diba? Maybe the only thing that they would like to learn more about you na lang siguro is ano yung party side mo. Diba? And remember, I mentioned to you, the party side, bawas-bawasan. Diba? Doon tayo sa serious side kahit papaano, especially when you are promoting yourself and you're trying to market yourself more effectively. So this is where you now attach the documents and other relevant information about you. Okay? Now, some of you are now thinking, Sir Kim, if I make my resume link, isn't it that the Data Privacy Act is being implemented na? Medyo baka naman yung information ko kumakalat na kung saan-saan. Don't worry. With the use of the resume link, your information, very secured. Very secured because it depends on your privacy settings. You have the ultimate control over your privacy settings. So what do you do? Okay? Listen to this part, ha? Baka ma-miss out nyo to. Ito, importante. Pag pumunta ka sa dashboard, when you go to your account, go to your dashboard in the settings portion, choose privacy settings, and then choose the information which you want to show in public. Just in case lang you don't want to show everything. Example lang, you don't want to show your address. You don't want to show your birthday. Example lang, kasi baka judgmental yung iba. Sabihin, oy, kakagraduate lang niya, bakit 25 years old na, graduate pa lang? O, baka ganun, di ba? So, you just don't want that, type of stereotype lang, halimbawa. I'm just saying lang, okay? Pero I hope wala naman mag-judge sa inyo based on your age. So, kasi baka pag ginudge kayo, lalo naman ako, ano pa i-judge nila sa akin? So, wag niyo na ako tanongin kung ilang taon na ako. So, ganun din, no? Depende na sa inyo on which information you want to show in public. You control your settings 100%. You have the ultimate control. Okay? And then the last step is for you to submit. For people to know about your information, you have to give your resume link. If you don't give it, remember I said earlier, it is not searchable. Your resume link, if you go to Jobs 180 and try to type there your name, Juan or Juan de la Cruz, nothing will come out. You type there John, nothing will come out because it is not searchable. You have to give it to the respective company or employer or whoever you want to give it to. So that is how you submit your resume link. One option is you go to the website of jobs180.com and explore for companies. These are companies that we have already checked in terms of the background for them being a legit company. So we did our due diligence to make sure that the companies you're applying to are safe and they are legit, okay, legitimate. Okay, yan. So if you're interested about the companies, they try to learn about the responsibilities and requirements, the next thing you need to do is just give your resume link. When I say give, you don't give it physically. You just click the button. O, this time, ganun din. Apply mo yun. Think before you click. O, di ba? Pause before you post. But this time, tapos ka na mag-post eh. Nag-post ka na ng mga in-upload mo ng mga professional side mo. This time, doon ka na sa think before you click. Do I really want to be part of this company? If yes, click submit resume link. Pasok na yung information mo doon sa company. So that HR can already process your information. Now, another good thing with the resume link is that you can also simply type it lang in your email. So when you give your resumes to the companies you're applying to, you don't need to attach anything anymore. Just look at my example on the screen. If you want to write an email to the HR, what do? Dear HR manager, my name is Antonio Juan de la Cruz and I want to apply in your company. This is my resume. Wala nang attachment na mga document file or PDF file. No need to attach. Okay? It will not be secured. And it also becomes outdated eventually. So ang recommend namin, no more attachment, just type there your resume link. Antonio Juan de la Cruz 01.jobs180.com as an example. And that HR or whoever you've given this email to can easily click on the link and see your profile. Ayos. O, di ba? Let me continue. Some more pa. If you want to print your resume link, it is your discretion to print your resume link. Hindi kami galit sa papel. We're just saying lang na try to save din. Save money, save paper. You don't need to print resumes when you want to apply. Just give it to the companies. You submit it lang, okay, through the resume link. Tipid na, okay? You can use your gadget when you want to submit it, but if you really want to print it, by all means, you can print it in your dashboard. Go to your dashboard, to your account, and then print the resume link. Now, for those who wants to print the resume link but are on a budget, what do? I recommend you use your resume link card. Resume link cards are small pieces of paper where you will find the important information about yourself. So you don't put the entire thing there. You don't put the entire resume there or the CV or yung sabi nga nila, the bio data. You're not telling the story there. No, hindi ganun. What you need to do lang, this is like a teaser. Parang teaser lang, patikim. What you need to do is just create your small resume link card, give that to the company with your resume link on it, of course, and then tell the HR that that is your resume. For them to see your profile, they just click on the link, they type it with any browser, they can see all your information. And those information depends on your privacy settings. Okay? As you can see in the picture I'm showing you, a lot of applicants now are using their gadgets, whatever they have, laptop, tablet, phablet, smartphone, and I think you guys have your smartphones. Pag wala, don't worry. Okay, wag matakot. You can borrow from your friend, from your relatives na mga gadget and just simply create your resume link. Okay? You don't need to save that resume link in that phone. It's a cloud-based tool. All you need to remember lang is your login ID and password. So, no more yung mga filling out a lot of information. Nakakatamad yan, di ba? Pag ngayon nga lang, pumunta ka sa mall. Papasok ka pa lang, I'm sure na-experience na rin to. Papasok kayo sa mall, ano nangyayari? Pipindot tuloy. Susulat-sulat ng sangkatutak na form. For what? Contact tracing. Ang tanong ko, talaga lang contact tracing. Okay, sige, oo na lang. Follow para makapasok sa mall. Now, let's go to the example of going to some malls. And then what do? Just get your phone, do the QR scanning, di ba? It's easier, tama? Mas mabilis, instant na information nandun na. Yan yung sample natin din for using this technology. Okay? So, some of the guidelines I usually say, bakit ko nire-recommend ang resume link? Simply because of the following advantages. Number one, your information are truly secured because kayo ang may control ng privacy settings nyo. Second, the speed of application and hiring becomes more efficient and it's faster because wala na yung pabalik-balik to the companies. What you need to do lang, put everything there, put all your professional information there, identity mo, diba, everything in your resume link, And no one will know about it unless you share it too. So it becomes faster. The HR gets it, the HR process your information faster. Diba? They get to know you about your video. You get my point. Right? Flexible is if you want to print, just in case lang you want to print as a backup, you can print your resume link with a one-pager or the small resume link cards, kung tawagin. Okay? And definitely, it's cost-efficient. Huwag na tayo magtalo dyan sa cost efficiency. Sigurado wala kang gastos dito sa resume link. Diba? Sabi ng iba, sir, wala akong pang data. O connect tayo sa Wi-Fi, libre. Diba? Kung walang Wi-Fi sa bahay, sa kapitbahay, baka meron. Kung wala doon pa sa kabilang kapitbahay, baka meron. O diba? So yun lang, makikonnect tayo. Okay? So libre naman po ito. So walang bayad. Okay? And for those who are wondering, how do I keep my resume link? You don't need to save it with any USBs or hard drive. I said it earlier, it's a cloud-based tool. So, ang gagawin mo lang, just share it to whoever you want to share it to. Just remember your login ID and password. Don't forget your resume link. And I think you will not forget your name because usually it is your name.jobs180.com. You can use different platforms to share it to, whether it's a Viber, Messenger, text, SMS, depende. Kasi mo gusto i-share, kayo may control niyan. And you don't have to worry about the changes in the updates ng mga software. You don't have to worry about it. Kami na, we take care of it. And it's applicable to all types of gadget. Okay? So right now, just also to share some good news. Puro good news lang tayo ngayon. No? Sa dami ng mga bad news na rinig natin left and right, dapat puro good news muna tayo lahat. Okay? So lahat ito good news. The good news is we have more than 300, 400 school partners nationwide. And these colleges and university partners are already using the resume link. And I'm so happy that for today, I have the opportunity to share this to all our Mandaluyong and Pasig school partners, particularly in the audience. I can see a lot of RTU students here in the comment section. So, mga taga-RTU, I miss going back to your school and I look forward to going to every school, okay, who are listening here right now. Let's go back to the old normal, okay? And so, as I close, I would like to remind you lang, make sure that when you create your profile, your online identity, it has to be interesting and attractive. Tanggalin na yung mga negative vibes. Mga comments na negative, mga, I know, mahirap tanggalin yung comments na negative. Kasi bakit? Sabi, di ba, be true to yourself. Oo, naintindihan ko yun. But the thing is, you're being true to yourself, ikaw lang yun eh. Ikaw lang natutuwa eh. But everyone else who sees that comment, that negative comment, thinks something else about you. Yun yung iiwasan natin, di ba? Kailangan positive. Complete the information, especially when you are doing your online identity, your online portfolio, your professional identity sa resume link. Complete all these details para mabilis. And more than anything, make sure that the information are updated. Okay? Kailangan updated. Kasi pag hindi updated, marami kumakalat na fake news na nagbaha daw sa ganyan, na biglang giniba na yung dingding dahil sa bagyo. When I look at the date, it was 2017. Bagyo pa pala nung panahon ng 2017, 3 years ago. So yan yung mga things na minsan hindi mo talaga matanggal eh. That's why you always have to keep the information updated. Diba? And moving forward, when you clean your profile, when you create a positive professional identity, make sure lahat ng information ina-update mo, lalo na ang contact details nyo. Just in case any companies are listening out there and wants to contact you, what do? They get in touch with you with your updated information. Okay? Just in case also you have questions, baka lang may questions kayo. Later, we have a Q&A portion. You can also share your questions in the comment section. I still have about 2 minutes for Q&A. Just in case lang I won't be able to answer all your questions, feel free to send us your questions through email info@jobs180.com. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram to get more updates and mga relevant events. Again, my name is Kim Chua. Don't forget the wa. It's a good afternoon to everyone. Be safe. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your talk.
Hi, Sir
And
Robert.
kakaiba
Are you
nga
still there?
talaga ang topic natin today. Actually, sir, ginugol ko sarili ko habang nagbibigay kayo ng talk. And to inform lang everyone, I guess common na lumalabas sa ating search ay ang ating social media account. So, no surprise there. Actually, nagulat lang ako, sir, na ang images lumalabas, pictures from my IG account. So, in-expect ko sa Google makikita talaga, Facebook o click, ganun. Pero sa images, nakalabas na agad ang pictures ko from Instagram. Pati post ng iba ng Instagram na nakatag ako. So, buti na lang, flattering pa naman yung pictures na yon. Pero keep that in mind to everyone na baka kasi inisip nyo content lang, social media account, diretso sa inyo. But again, kahit post ng iba, baka lumabas sa search nyo. Sige
Yes.
sir, I have a question here.
Go
Doon
ahead.
sa, since you have a lot of experience as HR, yung online identity ba ng ating mga viewers pwedeng magka-effect sa pag-hire nyo
Of
sa
course.
company? Yan. Sige sir,
Of
can you share
course.
more?
Okay, I'll tell you. I'm very transparent as an HR, and as a person, I'll tell you. This is my honest opinion about it. Mahirap yung kasabihang fake it till you make it. If you've heard of the term fake it till you make it, probably back in the 70s, in the 80s, panahon ng mga parents natin, ng mga lolo't lola natin, pwede yan. You can fake your own portfolio, pretend that you are a graduate from that school, pretend that you are doing this and doing that, magaling ka talaga and all that, until, you know, the company accepts you and naka-retire ka na sa kumpanyang yan and then tumanda ka na and all. That could happen long before. Right now, that statement, fake it till you make it, is a very challenging task. Maybe a few people can still pull it through, pero mahirap siya gawin. Bakit? Simple lang eh. When I look at a person's resume link, and you claim, example lang, you claim to be, you're active with doing this and doing that, you're a member of the, example lang, member of social civic organization, parte ka ng school student council, example, okay yan, because I believe, I would say yes, totoo to, no? And let's say kung may nagtrabaho, summer job sa ganyan and all this, I'm so happy with my job, blah, 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 again. Hindi pala, I'm so happy. You work there for a few months, nakita natin 3 months, 2 months, 3 months, okay. Fast forward. Check ako background check. Go online. Type your name, type the company you work for. I will not mention some examples here. Baka may ma-offend lang ako, so wala naman akong inasa permission. So example lang, that person, Juan de la Cruz, with the company A. Ayan. And then there's a comment, sabi mo, pambihirang kumpanya to. Puro na lang overtime. Diba? Wala namang pa-overtime. Puro na lang si boss ganyan, si boss ganito, puro utos, puro blah, blah, blah. Ano kala nila sa akin? So, in short, sangkatutak na negative yung feedback mo. Okay, fast forward ulit. Pagdating sa interview, of course, I'm interested with the person. Hindi naman ako judgmental based on yung past mo or ano nangyari sa'yo sa company mo. So this time, I invite you to the office because I want you to be part of our team. What do I do next? I ask you a simple question. Halimbawa lang, what was the reason why you left? Or how was your stay with the company A or company na you previously worked for? And then you started to say all the good things. Oy, ang saya nga doon magtrabaho kung di ko lang kailangan mag-relocate, doon pa rin ako ngayon. Oh, sa totoo lang, masaya talaga doon. Yung boss ko napakabait. Imagine, yun yung thing na magre-reflect sa application. It's not so much about the company you worked for before or the position you've had, the accountabilities you've taken. Hindi yun yung magmamatter doon eh. It's about the irony of what you say and what is being reflected about you. So yan yung sinasabi ko ngayon. Well, to answer your question, Sir Robert, that is where the online identity comes in. Very, 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 very important. Because when people check your background right now, baka try mo bilangin, gawa ka stats. Out of 10 na lumabas na anything related sa'yo, out of those 10, ilan dun yung positive? Ilan dun yung nagbe-build ng professional image mo? Pag ang nangyari doon, mas marami pa yung party side, yung kalokohan side kung tawagin. And those kalokohan side, when I say kalokohan, doesn't mean naman negative, no? Pero yung kalokohan side doon, halimbawa, it's against you or hindi maganda sa image mo, then you have to start thinking and cleaning it up na. Habang maaga, linisin na. Dagdagan mo ng mas maraming positive para mag-outweigh yung ratio. Diba? Kung dati, out of 10, halimbawa lang, I'm doing my math lang right now, out of 10, example, ang siyam doon, 9 doon, negative, isa lang positive, ano gawin mo? Dagdagan mo ng 100 items na puro positive. Para mangyari, out of 110, ano mangyari? Out of 110 mo, yung 101 positive, yung 9 na lang ang negative. O di mas okay, nag-build na tayo ng positive image or identity mo online.
Okay.
Tama?
Thank you, Sir Kim. So para sa ating viewers, hindi lang kami umaasa basta-basta sa references na ilalagay nyo. Marunong din po kami mag-Google. Kaya din namin gawin yon. Baka makita namin itong mga posts nyo. Maganda yung example ni Sir Kim about bashing the old company. Tapos pagdating sa interview, napakaganda ng aking experience. So, Sir, I have one more question
Yeah, go ahead.
about online identity. kasi we were talking about protecting yung online identity mo, doing everything you can. What about yung role natin sa pag-understand ng online identity ng iba? Like, I guess papasok na rin dyan yung na-mention nyo about fake news and all. Paano natin na maiintindihan ng maayos ang online identity ng iba?
Ako kasi I usually practice yung I have to, mahirap i-deny na when you have information and facts, whether it's true or false, ang nangyayari is you start to formulate something, no? So you now base it on the 10 items. Example ko lang, you have 10 items that you were able to connect to the other person, and you saw 9 of them medyo hindi maganda, isa lang yung maganda, and immediately nagkakaroon tayo talaga, human nature that nagkakaroon tayo ng impression na parang hindi na maganda towards that. So what do? I want to be fair with all the applicants. What I usually do is I give it a chance. I try to contact them. And this is where the resume comes in handy. Ayoko na tumagal. I don't want to keep on dialing 10 times just to get to that person. I want to try in a way to shorten that process to get to reach to that person, to that applicant, and just engage na kaagad. Alamin ko na kaagad. Ask a few questions. Probably ask a few questions about those 9 items. Or maybe ask a few questions about anything about those one positive item, and you'll figure it out later on. No, it's difficult to say na pag nakita mo 9 out of 10 negative ay yung taong yun negative talaga. Probably hindi. 'Di ba? That person could be the most active, and hindi na most active, extreme activist, sabihin na natin, aktivista talaga, no? Makibaka, lahat na ng pwedeng ibaka, makibaboy, lahat ng pwede, makikambing, lahat nilaban na niya. Halimbawa, ginawa niya yun. Okay lang naman eh. It doesn't mean negative yung person. Diba? But you have to get to know the person the way you wanted to get to know the person. And that is how I do it. I usually rely on phone. I call immediately. If I cannot contact, I try to find a way to get in touch with the person. And I try to base it on conversation. Sa usap. Okay? Because minsan, misinterpret din natin yung nakasulat. Kahit na maganda yung nakasulat, pero the way naman pala yung intonation niya, hindi pala maganda. Diba? So, ganun din. Okay? Yun sa akin. For me to manage other people's, for me to judge other people's online identity, I try to check, I try to make sure, and see it for myself. Yun. Because I also have my standards, diba? You have your standards then. So that's where you put it into fit. Yun po.
Okay. Thank you, Sir Kim. Diretso na ako sa last question natin para makamove on na tayo. This one is regarding ang resume link mismo. This is from Noel Cabellon. Mm-hmm. Can I find job even if my resume link is not complete? So yan, sir.
Thank you, Sir Noel. Yeah, I saw your comment. Sir Noel, thank you for that question. Can you find a job even if your resume link is not complete? I say yes, it is possible. But I will encourage you to complete it. Complete it because yung efficiency. Baka naman tsumamba pa tayo dun sa ina-applyan mo na lang na kumpanya, yung gusto pa niya makita, yung pa yung nawala sa resume link mo. Sayang naman. Yun yung example ko. Diba? Yes, you can definitely find a job, diba? With a few information in your resume link, but the chances of you finding more and qualified applications will be higher if your information in your resume link is more complete. Okay? So, mas maraming details, mas better. And then later on, when you have the chance to be hired na dun sa kumpanya, then you just choose your settings. Change it na lang. Hide the information later on kapag naka-land na tayo ng trabaho. Diba? So, in the meantime, kompletuhin mo na, submit, apply na apply, and then later on, pag may trabaho na, go back to your account, change your privacy settings. That's my tip for you, Sir Noel.
Okay, thank you, Sir Kim. Sir Noel, hopefully na-address ni Sir Kim ang iyong question. And Sir Kim, dito magtatapos ang ating Q&A. Thank you very much for giving your talk. Para sa ating viewers, pwede nyo check ang aming jobs180.com na website, and then jobs180.com/jobs180 para sa more info about the company and job openings. So, Ayun, thank you, Sir Kim, and we will see you again soon. Thank you.
Salamat po. Thank you.
Okay, so now we will move on to our next topic and to introduce our next speaker who will be talking about developing leadership skills. She is a registered psychometrician with a Bachelor of Arts degree in psychology from Miriam College. She has experience in teaching research and human resources. At present, she is an HR assistant at Greenfield Marketers One Incorporated. During her free time, she likes to dabble in art and play online games with her friends. Let us all welcome Miss Chanelle Ivy Argales.
Hi,
Good
thank you very much for
afternoon.
having me. Good afternoon, Pastor Robert.
Good afternoon, Chanel. So you will be talking about developing leadership skills.
Yes,
So
pa.
this is for mostly for graduating students and graduates na, but I'm hoping na pati yung leadership skills na tips natin ay ma-apply din ng undergrads. I think meron tayo iba dito sa audience na not yet graduating. So we are
Mm.
looking forward to your talk, Ms. Chanel. Pwede ba test natin ang inyong screen?
Okay, sige. So, share screen. Sige, wait lang. Application window and then here.
Okay, Ms. Chanel, while you are sharing your screen, remind ko lang ating audience na you can type your questions sa comment box at any time during the presentation. Okay, so Ms. Chanel, I can see your presentation right now. Your audio and video is fine. So I will be backstage and be back here for your Q&A. Thank you.
Okay, sige. Thank you. Okay, so to start, again, my name is Chanelle. Thank you very much for having me this afternoon. I am an HR assistant at Greenfield Marketers One Inc. I have been with the company for around a year or so, and my tasks primarily revolve around recruitment, admin activities, and every now and then I also help out with training. But for now, so ayun, I am representing the company or rather HR ng Greenfield Marketers One to present this quick webinar on developing leadership skills. And then to start, so just to level off, what is a leader? So basically, as the name states, so a leader is someone who leads or guides a particular group towards achieving a particular or a specific goal. A commonly debated topic is that whether leaders are born or made, or rather ayun, or are leaders born or made. Pag sinabi nating are leaders born, so dito pumapasok yung mga natural born leaders na pwedeng at a young age kita mo na they have that sort of leadership quality. So, part na ng personality nila. Whereas others, so yung leaders na made, so ito yung mga people na nagiging leaders through experiences. So arguably, it's a mix of both. So leaders are born and made. Merong people na may certain qualities, merong people na medyo lacking. But at the end of the day, it's something that you really need to work on and then through different means. So say for example, ito nga tayo, itong webinar with Jobs 180. And then why are leaders important? So ayun nga, leaders are integral to the success of a group, especially in organization. So although all members of a group play an important part, we could say that a leader is somewhat special in the sense that a leader is tasked to oversee a project and then of course all of its members. And then you may also be wondering what makes a perfect leader. So let's stop you there. There is no such thing as a perfect leader. There are different leadership styles, and then depending on the task at hand, so whatever goal it is that you need to achieve, pwedeng mag-iba yung needed na leadership skills. But of course, there is no harm in trying to becoming the best sort of leader that you can be. And then hopefully with this webinar, I could impart a few important tips that would help you in developing your leadership skills. So let's move on now to the tips on developing leadership skills. Ayun. So first up, for our first tip is personal development. So meron nga tayong saying na before you work on others, you need to first, of course, work on yourself. So this entails allotting some time for your personal growth, stepping out of your comfort zone. So say let's say you're employed right now, so you need to take on certain challenges. You could ask your boss to do some things, or rather, you could ask your boss to give you certain roles that would help you develop important skills that could come in handy when you do become a leader. Say you are a student right now or are in between jobs, you could take classes or courses to learn new things things or to say hone your existing skills. And then of course, as we mentioned earlier, wala naman taong perfecto. So you could also take the time to confront your weaknesses, work on your weaknesses, and then to ultimately develop yourself. So that's the first step. So ayun nga, kasi learning doesn't stop. It's a continuous process. It doesn't stop even if nandun ka na sa, say, mataas na level. So you just keep going. And then for the next step, so ayan ang listen and communicate. So there's a reason why people keep saying PM is the key, char. So listening and communicating really is the key to the success of most, if not all, transactions. So in a group, in any group, rapport is very important. But speaking from the perspective of someone who is trying to achieve a particular goal, so as a leader, you need to be able to communicate effectively to ensure that the right messages are coming across. So, say, are your team members, are your group members, do they have the correct understanding of what needs to be done, of what they need to do? But at the same time, so this is a two-way street. So you also need to listen to what your group members have to say. So you need to be mindful of what they are saying, what they feel regarding what you're doing, and what they are being asked to do as well. So those are our first two tips: personal development, and then listen and communicate. For the next two tips, so ayan, learn to follow, and then of course learn to commit. So when we say learn to follow, there is another popular saying na before you can lead, you need to learn how to follow. So what we mean by that is, well, everyone, or at least most people, start out as a follower. Hindi naman yan yung rekta. Halimbawa, naglalakad ka sa EDSA or say pasok ka sa, sabihin natin sa, sorry, excuse me, for an interview and biglang sasabihin ka na, okay, sige, leader ka na, ayan ka na, top management ka na. Hindi ganon. So we start as a follower. And this provides good insight for when you do become a leader, in the sense na as a follower, you look into stuff that, or rather you figure out and identify from observing, say, your current boss, the people you're following, what works and then what doesn't for you, and of course for the people that you're working with. In a way, this is also looking into what would become later on your, say, leadership style or something of a code. And then when you identify those things that work for you, when you identify your code, you need to learn to commit. So by saying learning to commit, so this is following your code, following through with good habits that you learned as a follower. So say, for example, meeting deadlines or following through with appointments, deadlines, commitments, and the like. And then so that moving on for our next two tips. So we have acknowledge others' abilities and then inspire and empower. So when we say acknowledge others' ability, so ayan, say balik tayo from the time, or rather, I understand Sir Kim said kanina na quite a lot of our listeners are undergraduate students or are still studying. So medyo nakakatrauma yung time na we had to work in a group pero nangyari, say binuhat mo yung bangka on your own. So no. So ngayon na leader ka na, you need to recognize that there are also other people with you. This is not a one-man project, a one-man act. You need to recognize that other people also bring things to the table. So here you take note of other people's strengths, their weaknesses, their interests, and then ayun, make the most of them in relation to whatever it is that your group or your team is trying to achieve. And then next, so for the next step, it's inspire and empower. So ito, you may be asking, as a leader, how do I motivate the people with me? Or how can I raise morale? Kasi that's a very important part of a team nga, or rather a group. So rapport din yan. Going back to our previous step, so ayun, or rather itong kakasabi ko lang. So it helps to acknowledge the abilities, or acknowledge in general lang the people you're working with. To the second tip, so ayan, listening. So you need to be mindful of the people that you're working with. And then dun sa learn to commit. So setting examples, it's one of the best ways to inspire, empower your team. So dito pumapasok yung, if I remember the saying correctly, if you're going to ask someone to do something, you also need to be able to do it or apply it to yourself as well. So for example, as a leader, you say, you ask for punctuality, you need to be punctual as well. If you want, say, a group member to be mindful of, say, the little things, you also need to do that as well, or to apply that to you. And then for our last step, so ayun nga, plan and then deliver. So going back to the definition of a leader. So a leader is someone who is tasked to oversee a particular group to guide the group towards the goal that they're trying to achieve. So as a leader, so ayon, although everyone is important, you play the special role of overseeing the project. You need to be able to see things a little bit further than everyone else. You need to see the bigger picture and then make all of these people work, or rather work with all of these people towards delivering whatever it is that you are trying to achieve. So, ayan, in conclusion, so those are the tips towards developing leadership skills. So, first up, ayan, personal development, and then listen and communicate, learn to follow, learn to commit, acknowledge others' abilities, inspire and empower, and then plan and deliver. So, listening to all of this, it can be a little bit, say, overwhelming, or rather, in general, working on stuff or developing yourself can be a little bit overwhelming. Say sometimes we get a little bit impatient that we're not quite there yet. Remember though, it's not a race. Relax lang. Just pace yourself and then keep working towards whatever you're working on. Keep practicing. Learning is a continuous process. And then, ayun, nasabi ko na pala yung last one. Focus on what you're working towards, which is developing your leadership skills or developing whatever your skills towards the very best that you can be as a leader. And then that concludes my quick webinar, or rather our quick webinar. Thank you very much for listening. If you have any questions, if I'm not mistaken, after this, you have a question and answer portion. But ayun, so if ever you want to try out a career that somewhat fosters leadership skills, maybe you could try sales. So you could check out our page at jobs180.com/greenfieldm1. We also post our job vacancies, or rather, you can also talk to us through facebook.com/greenfieldm1. And then you could also talk to us directly. So sabihin natin meron kang questions about our vacancies, or I don't know, maybe you have questions after this about leadership. You could also reach out to us through recruitment@greenfield-m1.com. And that is it. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Miss Chanelle. And well, I'm glad na nung na-mention ka earlier, hopefully yung tips nyo would apply even to those na undergrad, second year, or what. So I think na sagot naman and those tips will be useful for them. Now, I have here some questions for you. The first I would like to ask is from Mr. Jose Bidol. Hope I said that right. The question is, as a leader, what is the most effective communication method? So, as a leader, what is the most effective communication method? Question from Mr. Jose Bidol.
Okay, sige. So thank you very much for the question, Mr. Jose Bito. So as a leader, what is the most effective communication method? In general, so in groups, not just as a leader, it's always nice to keep an open line of communication. So it's nice na parang although there are things that you need to set forth as a leader, you need to also ask for the input of the people that are you are working with. So para alam mo din what are their grounds, what are their input on these things, para lang you're all on the same page. And then maybe, so maybe sabihin natin meron silang nakikita na hindi mo nakikita, it's always nice to ask for input from other people then. And ayun, thank
Okay,
you very
so
much.
thank you, Ms. Chanelle. So basically, to our viewers, kung leaders kayo, be open to input. So yun nga, dun papasok ang communication. So hopefully nasagot yung question ni Sir Jose. And Ms. Chanelle, I have a question here about, well, yung viewers natin, most would be graduating soon. So let's say they are fresh graduates just starting their work. How can they show the company that they have this leadership potential?
How can they show the company that they have this leadership potential? So in general, whether sabihin natin nag-start ka pa lang, say this is your first job or medyo nakakailang job ka na, it's always nice when you see that your hires are going the extra mile and doing whatever it is that they can to succeed in their jobs. It's also nice sabihin natin na, not to say that you should overwork yourself or anything, but it's nice when sabihin natin bigyan mo sila ng task and they ask for other things then. in particular, I think it's nice when someone asks, na sabihin, what else is there, or rather, what else can I do? Or these are the things that I'm interested in. Pwede mo din sabihin yun to say your supervisor. These are the things that I'm interested in. Is there anything that I can do in line with this? So, ayun. Again, an open line of communication.
Okay, so thank you, Miss Chanelle. Actually, ang ating next question is directly related sa sagot nyo. So, I would like to present yung, to our tech team, pwede yung kay Miss Joanne Ibe muna because it's related dun sa sagot ni Miss Chanelle. Here we go. Is it bad to volunteer to make a good thing? So, you mentioned about asking nga yung ating supervisors, ano pa pwede natin gawin. So I think this is related to that.
Mm-hmm. So is it okay? Thank you for the question, Miss Joanne. So is it bad to volunteer to make a good thing? So in general naman, it's not bad to volunteer. Parang say it's something that you're interested in. For one thing, no harm in asking. And then if it's for a good thing, better, diba? So ayun, it's good. You need to take these sorts of chances din kasi for your own growth. So ayun.
Okay, so thank you. Now, balik tayo sa question that was flashed earlier from Carl Jairus Lemos. Sorry if I mispronounced. What is the difference of being a leader and being a boss? So, there.
Okay. Thank you very much for the question, Sir Carl. So, what is the difference of being a leader and being a boss? So, when you say a leader, kasi or at least maybe this is coming from my own perspective na lang, or what I envision a leader is, kind of like a mentor, a guide. Whereas when you say boss, kasi not in a way, not all bosses can be leaders, something like that. When you say boss, kasi it can be linked to the definition, or rather perspective na I think nasabi ni Sir Kim kanina na yung nag-rant siya, yung example ng rant na utos na lang ng utos. So parang that's the difference. So bosses can be leaders, but in a way, not all bosses are leaders. Parang ganon siya.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Chanelle. Well, hindi na ako masyado magre-react sa iyong sagot dahil we have more questions here. I'd rather na basahin ang next questions natin. Next is from Sir Miko Carpio. As a leader, how would you get your team to further commit towards your tasks or projects?
Okay, thank you, Sir Miko. So, reading the question lang ulit. As a leader, how would you get your team to further commit towards your tasks or projects po? Well, for one thing, dito pumapasok ulit yung communication nga. So, sorry pa ulit-ulit ako sa communication. Pero, ayun nga, there's a reason why people keep saying that communication is very important. So, first off, you need to ensure that all of you are on the same page. All of you are committed towards achieving whatever goal it is that you are trying to achieve. And then if in terms of, if you're talking about motivation naman, or yung onting pag-udyok sa mga team members natin, it helps to, ayun nga, again, talk to them. Say sometimes you could tap into their interests na parang, kasi these aren't just people working under you. These aren't just people you're working with. These are actual people with their own interests, with their own likes. Maybe you could tap into that. Parang in a way, establish good rapport. And that's what I'm trying to say. Ayan.
Okay.
Thank you for the question.
Sige, Miss Chanelle. Again, yung answer nyo is related to our next question. So, diretso na ako dito from Miss Jewel Suarez. How to handle a leader with a callous communication skill po. There.
Okay, okay, thank you very much for the question, Miss Jewel. How to handle a leader with a callous communication skill po. Sige, for this, Sir Robert, question lang if pareho tayo on the same page. So, yung leader yung medyo lacking ba in terms of communication skill? Tama ba yung same ba tayo understanding, or?
I think that's also my understanding na
Okay,
I
so
guess
in
hindi ganun
fact,
pa open ang inyong leader sa communication. Something to that effect.
Okay, sige. Kung gano'n, so dito pumapasok yung says how to handle a leader with a callous communication skill. So dito pumapasok yung medyo need wala namang perfect leader. So merong or walang perfect person in general. So dito baka need na lang natin, if you're speaking from experience, or rather na experience mo to ngayon, baka need natin ng onting understanding or onting effort with trying to communicate with the leader. Parang to come into terms with things. Kasi nga, ayan, you're all working towards a particular goal, and then at the end of the day, if this is humahad lang to sa goal nyo, the leader should be able to recognize that this is something that needs to be addressed para nga makapag-work kayo effectively towards what you're trying to achieve.
So, thank you, Ms. Chanelle. So, ang ating understanding comes both ways. As a leader, understand yung kung sino nililid mo and vice versa. So, may questions pa tayo. And this one is from Tito Alpapara. Is there any seminar that you can recommend in development skills?
A
So, I
seminar
guess
in
development.
particular. Okay, sige. Thank you, Sir Chito. Is there any seminar that you can recommend in development of skills? So, ito, Jobs 180. Okay, tune into Jobs 180. Pero that aside, so especially ngayong, ever since nagkaroon ng pandemic, or kahit before actually, but mas noticeable lang siya ngayon siguro kasi we're always or off or more online ngayon kaysa before. If you look on Facebook, kahit sa Facebook lang makita mo, if you look up seminars on whatever sort of topic that you're looking into, I'm sure merong magpa-pop up dyan. So it's a matter of looking into stuff lang, or rather thinking of what is it that I want, what is it that I want to work on, and then I'm sure upon a few searches, may lalabas dyan na, in terms of, like for example, ito with leadership. I'm sure there are a lot that offer, aside from Jobs 180. Usually schools offer these sorts of seminars then. So ayun. Pero yung Jobs 180.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Chanelle. Thank you for pag-plug sa amin at kung gaano kami ka-effective. Yes, meron kaming other, singit ko na, Ms. Chanelle, sorry. Meron kaming other topics from our other webinars before. It's posted here sa Facebook and then later on. Sige, balik naman tayo sa ating question, Ms. Chanelle. This is from Ms. Joanne again. I think it's the same from before. How do you handle sa mga hindi nakikipag-cooperate there as a leader?
Okay. Thanks again for the question, Miss Joanne. How do you handle mga hindi nakikipag-cooperate? So for this, again, it's something that, well, you need to talk about as a group if you're talking from the perspective of a leader. For one thing, you can think about, is there something I'm not seeing? Is there something I'm not understanding? Or maybe there's something that your team members are missing. And it's a two-way street. It's something that you really need to talk about. You need to be clear with what, say, from as a leader, you need to be clear with what you expect from your team members, and then you also need to be clear with what you are willing to do, or what your role is, or what everyone's role is actually, and really talk it out. Kasi ayun nga, if merong hindi nagko-cooperate, this will be detrimental or very difficult if you're trying to achieve something that requires the effort of everyone, which I assume is the case kasi nga you're working as a group.
Okay. So, thank you, Ms. Chanelle. Gusto ko lang i-mention na si Sir Miko that you answered ay nagka-thank you sa ating comments. So, we appreciate sa ating mga viewers that you are really active dito sa ask us the questions that you need to ask, and then to respond like this. I'm sure Ms. Chanelle appreciates na nandito kayo to ask the questions, and outright nagsasabi sa ating comments na thank you for answering. And, well, I think this is it for our Q&A, Ms. Chanelle. If meron pang questions ang ating audience, we could either send them to you or maybe sa ating panel later, baka pwede ko i-tanong na rin sa kanila. Maybe they could help answer these questions. So, Ms. Chanelle, thank you very much. And this will end our Q&A. I hope to have you here again with us, and hopefully next time you're here, ganito pa rin ka-engage ang ating audience. If I'm not mistaken, hindi to ang first time na we have a representative from Greenfield Marketers 1. So whether or not ikaw or yung previous representative, you're always welcome to join us sa aming future webinars. So thank you very much sa ating mga viewers. You could check www.jobs180.com/greenfieldm1. Makikita nyo siya sa banner nyo sa screen sa baba. Okay. So thank you, Ms.
Thank
Chanelle.
you.
Okay, so we will be moving to our next topic soon sa ating last na topic. But before that, I think we would want to show you a short video. So short video we would share to you. And then after that, pwede na tayo mag-move on sa ating last topic, which is panel interviews from different companies. So I think we could play the video now if it is ready.
There are 3 easy steps in creating your resume link. Let me show you how.
Step 1. Register. Go to www.jobs180.com using any browser and click Register Now. Fill out all the information needed. In choosing your resume link, use your full name so that it looks professional and it's easy to recall by potential employers. For example, Antonio Juan de la Cruz .jobs180.com. Step 2. Create and design. When creating your resume, make sure to complete your personal information and upload your profile picture. One of the highlights of the resume link is the portfolio section. In the portfolio section, you can show off your skills by uploading samples of your work like documents, pictures, videos, and your social media links.
Your resume link also features different themes and you can upload a cover photo. This is a combination of a cover letter and a social network cover photo. Here is an example. You can also download a copy of your resume link and print it. Step 3. Apply for a job. There are many ways to apply with your resume link.
First is browsing the job recommendations in your Jobs 180 dashboard.
If you're qualified, click Submit Resume Link. So what are you waiting for? Dress up your next generation resume, stand out brightly among the competitive job seekers in the market, and win the heart of your future employers using Resume Link.
Okay, so we are now ready to proceed to our third session. But before that, I would like to thank again our viewers for your questions kanina, for leaving comments dyan. It's always nice to have an audience na nagpa-participate like this. So sana until our third session, ganito pa rin tayo. So again, we will have a panel discussion, and I would like to introduce our panel. We have Ms. Nick Inocentes, Recruitment of BDO Unibank, Mr. JP Suarez, Associate Vice President for Strategic Engagement of Inspiro, Mr. Miko Javier, a company life coach from ISSICO, and Ms. Nina Arribe, HR Manager of PSB TSI. Let's check if everyone's here. Let's see. Our tech team will invite them here. And yes, I think we have 3 in our screen right now. We are just waiting for one more. While we are waiting, let's test our ang ating audio. One way. There's Miss Nick. Miss Nick, hello. Test po
Hi.
natin yung audio niyo. Hello again, Miss Nick. Miss Nick, I believe nagkasama na tayo before from a
Yes,
previous
thanks.
panel discussion.
Yeah, thanks
So
for
nice
having me again.
seeing you here again. Yes.
Mm-mm.
Sige. Sir JP, can we test your audio? Could say hello lang po.
Hello.
And I think nag-hang sa screen ko, Sir JP. Skip muna natin. Miss Nina, test po natin ang ating audio. Hello.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Nice to have you here. And Sir Miko?
Hello, good afternoon.
Okay, we're good with Sir Miko. Let's try Sir JP again, sir. How is your audio? Can you hear us well? Fine lang
I
sa
can hear
inyo?
Yeah,
Okay,
I can
so
hear you guys.
everything's
Thank you.
fine. So for our panel discussion, we will have one general question, and then after that, questions na hindi na kailangan sagutin ng everyone sa ating panel, and then we'll try to make it more fluid, like a conversation. But if, for example, a member of the panel answered the question, and while I'm transitioning to another person, pwede naman kayo mag-butt in. That's okay with us. So please feel free to do that. So first question, this is a common question that everyone will answer. This is, what are the main challenges that your company has faced during this pandemic? And then follow-up question, what have you done to address these challenges? So everyone, let's do this in order of how we introduced you. So Miss Nick, let's start
Yeah.
with you po.
All right. Hi, everyone. So my name is Nick. I am the sourcing officer for BDO Unibank. For the challenges that we have faced during this pandemic, definitely, well, we are known kasi for actually having lots of job fair activities, big activities wherein a lot of people really attend, na ganyan. So now it's really more on limited invites. So we are trying, of course, to protect the safety of the applicants and the employees. So there are limited invites in the office. But definitely the hiring is ongoing. We didn't stop hiring naman and recruiting. So what we've done, I think it's common for everyone that we transitioned more on online. Everything is online, from looking for sourcing for applicants, the interviews, and everything like that. Though it takes more time compared to before, na talagang pwede kaming mag-bulk hiring, bulk interviews and all, but it's still working for us. So mostly it's that the processing, it takes a bit longer since we can only process a few applicants at a time compared to before.
Okay. So thank you, Miss Nick. So for our viewers, it will take longer, but we are sure meron pa. So thank you.
Yes.
Let's move on, Sir JP. Sir, question. The same question, sorry.
Sure. I think for us, we're very blessed in the BPO industry because unlike some sectors, we actually grew. Many of our clients, many of our clients are service-oriented industries. So we actually have to hire 8,000 employees, our new teammates, in the next 2 months. So, and like Nick had said, we used to have recruitment events before, in malls. But as soon as the pandemic happened, we quickly jumped onto a AI platform. So we run all of our processing virtually. We do it with Jobs 180, but we also have a recruitment chatbot called Inzi on our Facebook page, and because of that, we're able to quickly um, run through our assessments. So I think the initial set of assessments now takes about 5 minutes, um, and then we're able to get a job offer within 24 hours, depending on the qualifications or not. Um, but yeah, we're getting a lot of applicants. We have sites all over the metro. So we have. I think one of the things that we had to do. I think the challenge is really for everybody was try to find a way for our teammates and our candidates to either work safely um, and apply safely. So in order for our teammates to work safely, we had to ensure that all of the teammates that had internet at home could work from home. So we had to ship all of our computers, all of the hardware to the houses of our teammates who could work from home. And then for our teammates who couldn't work from home because they didn't have internet, we had to ensure that all of the sites um, were safe and including door-to-door pickup, shuttle pickup for them to get to the sites. So yeah, as soon as we got done with the initial 2 months, I think we're going on our seventh month now. With the initial 2 months, I think it's been really steady in terms of people being able to apply and us being able to offer jobs. And I know that a lot of industries have also been able to adjust as well.
Okay. So thank you, Sir JP. So as said by Sir JP to our viewers, hindi lang sila but also other industries, meron silang ginagawa to be able to help you to work from home or get to the office. So iba't ibang pwedeng gawin, including as mentioned by Sir JP, giving the hardware, giving shuttles para dun sa pupunta sa kanilang work. So thank you, Sir JP. Let's move on to Sir Miko. Same question.
All right. Well, I just have to agree with Ma'am Nick and Sir JP a while ago that we have been, participating in job fairs and um, the challenges are almost similar with regard to recruitment. One thing that we were really taking seriously pre-pandemic times was the face-to-face interviews. So it was kind of a challenge to really do an online interview and over the phone. So that's one of the things that we faced. But just like any other industry, you just have to really accept what comes your way. So that's what we did. We went online with our recruitment processes, and we've also assisted our employees with regard to their needs now. So there were employees who can work from home, and they've also been assisted with regard to the things that they need, like computers, the internet peripherals that they would be needing. Also, there would be um, employees who were who can work to the office. So there have been door to door transportation as well, and then there are also employees who can work on site but have different going home. So there have been available shelter or places to stay in for our employees. So and one of the important things that I should also mention is that whatever the government has mandated, the company has followed. So yeah, I don't think with regard to the challenges, I have to add more because the Mom Nick and Sir JB have have said that prior to me. So yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
Thank you, Sir Miko. So to our viewers, beyond pa pala than helping you go to the office, companies like ISSICO, even kung saan kayo pwede magstay after, pati pala yun ay nakakover by some companies. So last, Miss Nina, same question. Move on tayo sa inyo.
Yeah, so for us, the question on the challenges on pandemic and what did we do? So really overall, it required us to make quick decisions and constant communication sa mga tao talaga, sa mga employees. So first is, I think like most companies in the Philippines, usually talaga on-site yung work, diba, sa office. So ang laking transition when we had to decide on doing remote work or work from home. Yung mga question yan palagi is how will we be able to monitor productivity and reliability, and mainly, di ba, yung internet connection natin dito sa Philippines, we know that it's not that, reliable or stable pa din. So there's still a lot to improve on compared to kapag nasa office ka talaga, di ba, you have a solid and reliable, fast internet connection there. So for our company, what works well for us is yung business continuity planning namin on the decisions on those was really smooth, and we were able to make quick decisions. Even before the quarantine announcement, I can remember it. It was March 12 yata when our president announced it. We already started working from home March 9 pa lang, because that same weekend we already heard about the concerns of our employees. So really hearing them out na they're concerned about their safety, and their health as well as their family. So that led us to really make quick decisions. Also, second is at the same time managing the business and the revenue. We're also a BPO. We're servicing our customers in the US, and mainly K-12 schools in the US. Kahit sila, affected din sila kasi suddenly hindi na sila pinapapasok yung mga school administrator and tech directors. So wala na rin kaming makontak na mga customers or client in the US. So also, it was really amazing how our leaders as well, business leaders, made a shift on the strategies on paano kami kuha pa rin ng mga clients and customers, basically manage our revenue even though nag-transition kami work from home as well as our customers and clients. Third is, I think, very, very relevant to, lalo na ngayon, we're running about 7 months na working from home or doing remote work that we don't see each other. Before kasi working from home is really not that an option for us. So yung interaction. So we really shifted fast sa virtual engagement. Two things yan eh. Yung feeling ba na you still belong in a team, you still belong in a company, right? We wanna still have that sense of feeling, as well as, of course, taking care of the employees. Like, we hear a lot of things right now going on about mental health as well, affecting our employees or our team members. So we did not neglect meeting, and we explored immediately March pa lang kung ano yung mga technologies that we can use to be able to meet as a whole team. Siyempre kasi we even tried different platforms, and then we found out na when we started in March, parang may limited number of participants to join. So we explored that, and we still have our twice a month town hall. We still have our engagement activities even though it's virtually, and of course, hiring, onboarding, and training virtually. We're able to quickly shift to that as well. Lahat ngayon kasi remote and virtual na eh. Yeah. So that works for us.
Thank you, Ms. Nina. I'm sure na natutuwa rin malaman ng ating viewers na companies like PSB Technology Services ay mabilis naka-react dito sa pangyayari. You mentioned nga March 9 pa lang, nauna pa kayo sa marami sa atin. So for our next question, stick pa rin tayo kay Ms. Nina. We were talking about challenges ng companies during this time. Let's say naman, sa point of view ng ating viewers, ano ang challenges that they might face in finding a job sa inyong company or inyong industry? Ms. Nina?
Challenges in finding a job in our industry. So just like what I said, I think same as the other panelist here is we're in a BPO industry, diba? BPO setup. End-to-end naman kami, because you can say na kami yung tinatawag na in-house, right? Or yung direct na BPO type. So basically, extension kami ng US office namin. So we have different functions. We have sales, even back office, supply chain, accounting, marketing. all that range, right, in sales support. But at the same time, communication still the key. Kasi kahit na hindi ka talaga magkakaroon ng customer or client interaction, English communication is still required kasi you will be working with team members in the US pa din. So you will be working closely with, let's say, your accounting team or accounting manager in the US. So supply chain din, meron tayong mga counterparts in China and in the US as well, and then similar to marketing. So one of the main things, I think, pandemic or not, skills is really the key for us, for a company like us, kasi yun, it's very important to be able to really work well and collaborate with team members in other locations as well.
Okay. So, thank you, Miss Nina. So, to our viewers, merong challenges before, na challenge pa rin ngayon, like learning these communication skills. Sige, same question to Miss Nick, since we have a different industry for you. Either challenges that our viewers might face in finding a job, either sa company nyo mismo or sa industry.
Yes. All right. Well, for us, since banking industry, I think there's also this misconception that we only accept the accounting graduates or business course graduates, but we are open to accept any course ngayon. So we have lots of vacancies in the branches and in the head offices. Mostly what we're looking for, as Ms. Nina also mentioned, I think it's common to all companies, is communication skills. We don't know when we will have foreign clients in the branches. So, syempre, at least basic, English, and they can at least comfortably express themselves or talk to people. Ganun, someone personable. But mostly, what we're really looking for would be those that are highly trainable. And when they say willing to learn talaga. So, because we're willing naman to accept fresh graduates, even if you don't have any work experience or similar work experience in banks, but at least you're really willing to learn and are highly trainable, then that's great. Yun lang.
So, thank you, Miss Nick. So, again, to our viewers, sometimes yung mga challenge and dapat natin matutunan even before pandemic would still be very important now. Sige. Earlier, I mentioned that merong mga pahabol na questions during our last topic that hindi na na-address because short na sa time. But I think itong questions na to, we could maybe ask Sir Miko Javier, as a company life coach. Maybe we could ask you, our last topic was about leadership. I'm not sure if naabutan nyo, but someone was asking about sa leadership, what can you do if hindi enthusiastic ang someone doing their task kasi ikaw yung leader. So yung difficulties that you would face as a leader, and then what can you do or what does your company do dun sa mga not enthusiastic na people. Pwede rin yan.
All right. Yes, I was able to listen, a while ago, with regard to leadership. Now, yung hindi yung pag-engganyo dun sa mga less enthusiastic. Being a leader doesn't just entail you to enable or to persuade people to do their jobs, but it's actually helping the person change their mindset into also working with you. So there's a leadership style that we call transformational leadership. So that enables you to that entails you to really get to know the person. For once, get to know the person and ask them and understand what makes them unenthusiastic, and from there you work on ways on how to make them act. Like katulad nga ni diba, sinabi ni Zig Ziglar, people will help you. I'm not sure if this is the right term or the right quote, but people will help you if you help them. So what I'm saying is, it might sound cliche or it might sound simple, but helping or persuading people or letting people be enthusiastic and not be as unenthusiastic as before the key there is to really know, to really know the person and to understand where they're coming from and how you are as a leader. How are you going to make them act or work with you? because being a part of a team as well, a team is not just put a group of people being placed together. A team is a group of people collaborating and working together. Now, a while ago, both Ma'am Nina and Nick have mentioned communication skills. It's very important because communication also deals with listening, and it not just literal listening, but really listening on what the person needs and wants. No, in our company, we have designated people for that. We have a designated employee relations officer. We have a training team. We have our team, the life coaches. So if people are unenthusiastic, or if they have issues that they would like to talk about, or motivational issues, then they can avail the services that the company is offering, like the services that my team has been hired for. So ayun. So those are the things that our company is doing, aside from the usual kamustahan that the team leaders are doing with their teams, especially if they are working from home.
Okay, so thank you, Sir Miko. So to our viewers, ito ang mga options nyo when you're sa part of ISSICO. If ever ma-hire kayo, ayun nga na-mention niya na meron ibang offices that are tasked to do this and that. Sige. Since we're talking about motivation, I'd like to address this next question to Sir JP. Sir JP, I think nasagot na to way back from our previous webinars because we've had you before. But of course, iba na ang ating mga viewers today. So maybe we could share yung ginagawa ng Inspiro sa pag-motivate sa ating workers. We know that it's hard to be motivated given itong situation na to. But I'm sure even before meron na kayong ginagawa for them. So maybe we could share to our viewers yung ating efforts to keep motivation ng ating workers.
Yeah, sure. I'm very blessed to work for the company. I've been with this company for over 13 years. A lot of the people that report to me have been with the company for over 15 years. And we have a lot of people that are very tenured here. One of the reasons is that malasakit is really one of our core values. So we're very employee centric. Basically, we know that if we treat our employees right, the employers will treat the customers right, the customers will treat the clients right, and it'll raise shareholder value. So it all starts with the employees. That is one of our core values from the very beginning. And I think that when people enter our company, they feel that because we really try to have, not only we have a lot of initiatives to make sure our employees are comfortable. Like we have emergency loan programs, we have salary loan programs, we have on-site pharmacies, we have different events. But I grew up in the U.S. I'm Filipino, but I grew up in the U.S. When I moved to the Philippines, it was a culture shock because the Philippine culture is very family oriented. So, and then when I came to work for this BPO, it was the same thing. We're very family oriented. So everybody is all moving in the same direction, like a big family. So that's really, in that way, we're able to motivate our employees because if they do well, the entire team does well. So it's really kind of built in. So I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, it does naman, Sir JP. So thank you for that. And to our viewers, you could see the importance that the company Inspiro puts on its employees. It starts with you nga. So thank you for that. And well, Sir JP was mentioned that he felt blessed about being part of the company. So I would like to ask this question to Miss Nick again. Miss Nick, I think we addressed this sa ating previous panel discussion and I would want sana na ma-share mo rin dito sa viewers natin today about your decision to be part of your company and or industry. So
yes. So we talked about that last time, no? Because I also came from BPO. I was very happy there, but syempre, as I grew, older. My priorities changed, so I look for something for that's for me more stable and really long term. So I transferred to the banking industry, BDO specifically, because I was very enticed by the benefits and just the thought of staying in a stable company and seeing myself here long term, maybe until I retire already, is very fulfilling for me. And during the pandemic, actually, Sir Robert, no, I mentioned also before, I'm also very blessed to be part of the company because they really made us feel, that they cared for our well-being as well. Because for the banking industry, most of the people really need to be on site for the operations to work. So like in the branches and all that. So the company also went above and beyond, like in terms of renting shuttle services to pick up employees to and from the residences. And then they also offered like monthly antigen testing to ensure that the people that are coming in the office are all COVID free. They also made something like, we have a COVID care hotline wherein if an employee feels any symptoms or they're worried about their health, they can call 24 hours silang accessible. And then just all these assistances also, like Sir JP mentioned, the loans, the different assistances, yung mga calamity loans and all, that also help the employees feel that it's safe to come to work because the company also cares for our well-being.
Okay. So, thank you, Miss Nick.
Yeah.
So, I think a common theme sa answers ng ating panel is that they are very appreciative that their companies are doing these things for their employees. So, Miss Nina, I'd like to ask you the same question as to Miss Nick. Your reasons po for applying sa job or sa industry kung saan yung company mo, where it belongs.
Okay. So since I started working in 2004, I've been in the BPO industry. So that's like more than 16 years ago. And ang maganda kasi sa BPO industry is you really get to explore your full potential and your capabilities. You wouldn't believe it that I think I shared this last week when I had the session that I'm actually a graduate of computer science. So initially it was just an internship or OJT because I also started in like a technical support company. But after that, I really built a career here in this industry, and now I'm in HR. So moving from a technical support representative, and then the industry actually gave me a chance to move to different departments and functions. So that's starting with quality, and then I was also part of training or L&D, wherein I really develop and hone my skills. And now in HR, a lot of BPO companies also have benefits wherein they would really support your upskilling and further education. So I was very fortunate to be part of that, and you can really grow your career here. It's really up to you because a lot of companies in the shared services and outsourcing sector really invest in their employees. So other than of course yung investment on growth and career development, you would see that they're very invested on the well-being and health. And I would say that amidst this pandemic, right, our economy also survived because of the BPO sector as well. So dahil patuloy, kahit na ang daming mga nawawalan ng jobs and small businesses and all that locally and actually globally here and abroad, we thrive because of this industry. And yeah, this is something na I know that some people would think na it's not a place where you can actually build a career or really last for a long time, but no, it really varies on the perspective of the people as well and the team members.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Nina. And taking from yung sagot nyo, as you mentioned, ComSci kayo before, pero kung saan sa ngayon department na punta, different functions. So, I'd like to ask this naman to Sir JP. Sir JP, I'm not sure if you could see the comments, pero looking at it, our viewers are from sobrang dami nilang different courses. And the usual question we have if ganito karaming courses nila is if what if hindi related ang course nila, and could they still apply sa company nyo?
Okay, good question. I can't see the questions, by the way, but thanks for letting me know. So, okay, so when working for a BPO industry, so like I said, we have a lot of clients. We've been in the industry for close to 20 years now. We have clients longer than 15 years. So we have what's called domestic and international campaigns. So international campaigns are the campaigns from the US, and Europe, some Australia, and the domestic campaigns are actual domestic clients. A lot of them, I'm sure you know who they are. So for a lot of our campaigns, as long as you're able to finish college, that you've done it. So your college degree doesn't need to match the job you're going to go into. The fact that you finish college means that you could go into a job looking for a 4-year degree. Again, communication skills is very relevant. You need to have really good communication skills for English, for international campaigns. But for domestic campaigns, you should know English, with English Tagalog. And then we also have some campaigns that you don't have to have a college degree. So if you're 2 years in college, 3 years in college, if you're a high school graduate and you're able to speak English well, you're able to get into a job. And then there's also what's called seasonal campaigns. So just to explain it to you guys. So we have domestic campaigns, we have international campaigns. Those are pro-B posts. So basically you work for 6 months, you become regularized, you get your benefits. But we have what's called seasonal campaigns. These are that our clients that only need call center agents for a short amount of time. So like, let's say for 1 month and for 2 months. And usually for most BPOs, that happens during Mother's Day, it happens during Christmas, and it happens during Valentine's Day. So what happens is that you get a job in a BPO, you don't have to have a college degree, and you work there for 2 months, and it's actually really good because you get to see what it's like working from a BPO. You know, a lot of the demographic that I'm speaking to right now are all college students, right? Or just graduated college. So I'm sure they haven't worked at a BPO before. And many of the speakers on this show have worked at BPOs. So they might think, now what's it like working at a BPO? It's like working at an office. It's exactly the same thing. It's an office job. You work at a nice location, you work with a computer. It's just an office job. You just talk to people. So just to reiterate everything, number one, if you have a college degree, you can get into a job. It doesn't have to be part of what your degree is. And if you don't have a college degree, but you have good English communication skills, you can also get into a job. And then finally, if you want to know what working for a BPO is like, it's good to get into a seasonal campaign because you can get to see what it's like before you commit to a longer stint. So yeah.
So thank you, Sir JP. Actually, I appreciate yung last na mention nyo about trying first a seasonal campaign and then moving on from there. Sige. Sir Miko, I'd like to ask the same question to you, particularly naman for ISSICO. Meron ba kayong specific courses that you are looking for, or are you open to most courses na available?
Well, we are open to most courses, and also college degree is not as preferred, no. But one of the things that with the applicants that I've seen, one of the common factors would be experience in other call centers. However, we are very open in accepting college students, college graduates, those who just have graduated. But with regard to the degree, with our company, what's more important is your willingness to to work with ISSI together with its values. And what are these? It would be professionalism, proprietary, and uprightness and honesty. So apat siya. So those are the primary things that we're looking for. The skills with regard to the of nature of business of our clients, that can be trained. And even with with my conversations with employees, and this is when we're in the pantry or when we're talking to each other along the halls. The tenured agents, they're very willing to assist those newbies, no, the young ones or those who don't have any experience with the call center. So what I'm saying is, I guess with ISSI, we'll be more interested with the personality and the behavior, because the skills, they can be trained and they can be learned through, all throughout their career with us. So I guess that I hope that answers your question, sir.
Okay. So, thank you, sir. We have a question here from our audience. Thank you. So, our audience, while I'm asking the questions, you are free to comment naman dyan. This one is for both BDO and Inspiro. So, first, dun tayo kay Sir Miss Nick. Here, handling stress in work sa banking industry.
Yes. Well, I think in any workplace, there's stress because of the work that we need to do. But for BDO, prior pandemic, we have, of course, like employee activities wherein we get to just relax, ganyan. So every year we have this BDO Sports Fest. It usually happens every May. So everyone gets together, play sports, may cheerleading, ganyan. And then we also actually offer various clubs in the company. What I know, or like they also have like yung mga choir, dance club, they have photography club, things like that if you're interested. Or there's also like a hiking club where they get together on weekends, go out. We also offer um, trainings and seminars, of course, for development. Yeah, syempre, we also celebrate like with our teammates. The company offers like an allowance for example, Christmas parties, summer outings. So things that help us relax and maybe just forget work for a while, recharge, and so that we can come back, do things better.
Okay, so
Yeah.
thank you, Miss Nick. So move on naman tayo kay Sir JP. Same question addressed naman to you. You can see it in your screen. Handling stress in work.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, like Nika said, a lot of companies, they do have those clubs. Like we have a Mobile Legends club. We have all of that. We have an upcoming Halloween event, and we have an upcoming virtual holiday party that we're planning. We're really trying to make it awesome for everybody. But I think when you're handling stress, it's really it's more than just what you do at work. You have to give yourself time to rest. You have to, it's the old cliches. You have to eat right. You have to make sure that you get enough sleep. You can't feel. I think, I'm 44 years old. I'm an old guy. I started working when I was really young, and I wasn't a digital native, and so it's not like I was born with computers running all of the time. But now everybody graduating from colleges, they're all digital natives. They grew up using having a smartphone, connected to the internet all of the time. The thing is that when you're connected to the internet all of the time, it doesn't give you time to really relax. It doesn't give you time to reflect. So you need to be able to unplug. You need to be able to, yes, you definitely have to work, and yes, you definitely have responsibilities at home if you're helping take care of your home life, your loved ones. But you guys also need time for yourselves. And this is what I tell a lot of our digital natives, a lot of our Gen Zs or millennials. You need to give yourself like half an hour or an hour a day where you completely unplug and you spend time with yourself. Because if you don't do that, you really can't reflect. If it's kind of like this. It's like, life is a marathon. It's not a sprint. If we're sprinting, you're eventually going to break down. You need to be able to take things easy. So, with regard to work, I'm sure like a lot of other companies, we do have a lot of fun activities to make sure that our employees, aren't stressed. We have mental health awareness. We have all of those different things, but as an individual, you should also take care of your stress yourself by unplugging, and giving yourself the time to reflect on the day. That'll definitely help out. Sermon talaga. I sound like an old guy.
So thank you, Sir JP. So pacing nga, marathon, not sprint. So yeah, tips on how you could handle stress. I want to share this. This isn't a question, more of someone sharing his experience. This is from Vincent. Said, I worked in the BPO before, and I can tell you all, it was one of the best paying job with the best benefits. It taught me a lot about being a good team player. So thank you, Sir Vincent, for sharing that with us. In connection with your comment, I'd like to ask Miss Nina. Miss Nina,
Yep.
you mentioned about being a good team player. And for your experience, how was it developed? Ikaw mismo, paano ka naging better team player sa inyong company? And how were you able to help yung iba to also become good team players?
Yeah. So to become good team players, I think the first two things that came in my mind, you need to be able to collaborate with other team members or other employees within the company, as well as take accountability or ownership, those things. Because at the end of the day, right, being able to take accountability, that means na makaka-contribute ka in delivering results within the team. So collaboration and taking accountability, those are two important aspects na kailangan nating i-develop. And these are things na we can start developing while we're still in school, 'di ba? We have group projects, yung mga theses natin that we actually work with other people, 'di ba? Yung mga ibang classmates natin, and being able to really work with them and finish the projects or the theses. So we can start with that and really being there all throughout na until matapos yung work or yung task nyo, right? That's being or being able to show accountability or ownership na yung results, you're really part of it. So you can carry that forward sa corporate life mo, that really always remember na collaboration and having that open communication within the team is good. At the same time, thinking how can I contribute to the success of my team. And so those are the two things that came in mind right now on how you can start to be a good team player.
Okay, so thank you, Miss Nina. To our viewers, yung mga hindi pa graduate dyan, accountability and ownership, lalo na sa inyong group projects, there's a reason kung bakit ang pinapagawa sa inyo sa school. And admittedly, isa ako sa hindi fully na-appreciate yung importance ng group projects and learning about accountability and ownership. Okay, so I think we're almost done. I would like to give each member, this one is addressed for each member of the panel again, to have their own time to give their last words for our viewers. It's up to you if you want to share more about your company, you have to give words of encouragement or what. I'll give the floor to you. Let's start with Sir Miko.
All right, all right. So I would like to share a quote. It's a quote by one of the IO psychologists that I follow, si Adam Grant. So ang sabi niya kasi, self-esteem is a stormy sea if you're trying to outdo others. It's smoother sailing when you're aiming to outdo yourself. Your best rival is your past self, and your best role model is your future self. They don't they don't taunt you or sabotage you. Their sole purpose is to motivate you. So what I would like to share with the job seekers is that it all comes to really knowing your values and knowing your values in a sense like what's important for you, as well as willingness to work with a company na nagsha-share din ng parehong values or yung parehong values na meron ka. So I guess it also boils down to self-esteem and accepting yourself, because if you accept yourself you wouldn't be easily dissuaded, or it will be easy for you to work with other people, to be a part of the team, and who knows, in the future to be a leader as well. So So with that, I would like to again share that in our company, we value these things, no, professionalism, proprietary uprightness, and honesty, as well as maturity. So in we'd rather work with people who have these values and who have these virtues, and rather than someone who's not really willing to work peacefully and well with the company as well as with the others. So I guess that's what I would just like to share. And right now, we're very open to hiring individuals, right? We have a need for around 200 employees until December. So I would we are very we will be waiting for you through our jobs 180 portal, so please send your applications, as well as you can browse our Facebook for other information about ISSI. So sir, that's all I can say.
Okay, thank you, Sir Miko. Our viewers, you could see that sharing the same values is really important. So before applying to the company, sinasabi nga ni Sir Kim na you should do your research about the company, make sure nga that you have shared these values because those would be, yung values na to would be the reasons kung bakit kayo magstay. So, one important reason yun. So, Miss Nick, say naman po tayo your final words for our viewers.
Yes, so for applicants, since our audience would be fresh graduates or graduating students, right,
Yes.
Sir Robert? So, I'd like to tell them, don't feel defeated or give up easily if you don't get accepted right away. Just try and try, apply lang kayo. And I'm sure that there's a job out there for you. So, kasi sometimes they feel, diba, discouraged na. So, don't feel bad because I'm sure everyone here, before we got the job that we wanted, we really tried hard to get where we are. So, since this is also for
Yes.
Mandaluyong and Pasig schools, we have a lot of vacancies in the area for branches. Or if you're also interested, you can try for a position in our head office, which is located here at Ortigas, the Podium, or in Makati. Yeah, please drop by our Jobs 180 vacancies as well. You can send us your resumes there. We've been getting a few already. So we're going to contact you very soon.
Thank you, Miss Nick. I'm
Thanks.
actually glad to hear na meron na kayong nakukuhang applications. And I'm sure after this, meron pa susunod dyan. Sir JP, let's go to you. Final words.
Okay. So yeah, so for the graduates, okay, so most of you guys will, this is for everybody actually, to help everybody out. Most of you guys will be applying virtually because for safety of the recruiters and for safety of the applicants, most of the hiring is done virtually. So because of that, I know a lot of you are using mobile devices, but when you apply, you should really apply from a computer, because usually what happens is that you have an initial interview, so you have to have strong internet connection. 10 Mbps would be good because that runs really well with video. Number two, you're probably going to have a typing test, a baseline assessment, and a role play. With most recruiters, it works like that. So you can't do a typing test using a mobile device. So that's number one. So make sure that you guys do your best when you're ready to apply. Make sure you're doing it from a computer. So that's number one. Number two, so we definitely have sites in Mandalulyong. We have a site in Mandalulyong and we have a site in Pasig. Again, we're hiring over 8,000 employees. Being a failure isn't failing. Like Miko said, Anika said, don't worry if you don't pass, right? Just keep on trying. You will eventually succeed. We all do. So go ahead and get ready, get your computer and apply. We're very, very blessed again being in the Philippines, because a lot of other countries aren't the BPO capital of the world. You get to work from home in a safe environment. And when COVID was happening, the BPO industry really grew. So I think at the height, we were at a 17% unemployment rate. It's getting better. We're currently at a 10% unemployment rate, but there still are 5 million Filipinos that aren't working. So the fact that you're able to apply and get a job means something. So so do it. So yeah, so if you want to apply for Inspiro, definitely go to the Jobs 180 Inspiro, or you can also go to our Facebook page, Inspiro Philippines, and just go to the messenger, and you can start your application that way. All right. So good luck, everybody.
Thank you, Sir JP. So to our viewers, don't get easily discouraged. Huwag kayo matulad sa akin. I'll share to you that the first few months, dahil lang di ako nakuha agad, made me not apply for, I don't know, a few days or a week pa nga. So, wag kayo matulad sa akin. So, let's go to Miss Nina. Final words.
Right. So I just want to share that I love how Mika's discussion on values went, right? Personally, and as a company, we're also big on this core values. So it's really important that the employees' personal values and the company values align. This is something that we actually screen during hiring. So you will see on our job post na nakalagay doon yung company background, our mission, and our core values. And, as a tip, it's very important that you check on those sa mga company profiles kung ano ba yung core values nila. And because usually, they look for applicants that, display or they see during the interview that's aligned with their core values. So when it comes to application while, we're in this pandemic, it's very, very important as well that you should be able to adapt to remote setup or learning. So it's more challenging right now kasi before, di ba, when we're training in the office, may challenges pa nga tayo sa communication and learning the ropes, right? Yung mga processes, yung mga tools natin. What more pa kaya kapag remote? So we also need to see that effort on the team members and really they're exerting and they're doing their best para maka-learn ng new process, especially if you're a new hire, right? And also, we need team members who have a high level of accountability and reliability. Kasi nga, we don't see you every day, right? You're logged in from home, and especially in the working in the night shift, right? It's very tempting if you're the only person who's up at night and lahat ng family members mo tulog, diba? It's very tempting, just not to really be 100% productive. So just for everyone to know, our company PSB Technology Services Inc. that stands for Pioneer Square Brands. We're located in Silver City, Tiendesitas, Pasig. So that's the reason why people who are logged in from Pasig and Mandaluyong, you can actually explore our job openings. Right now, that's why we're also partnered with Jobs 180, talking to schools, like yung mga attendees ngayon. Kasi we're also exploring internship or OJT program, just like what we mentioned to you. We're studying how to be effective on this virtually. And we have different functions specializing with accounting. So if you're from the accounting field, and marketing and even supply chain, so those are the team members that we are actually looking for to be part of our company in the future. And for job seekers, the challenge that we have as part of the recruitment team is you have to update your contact information, right? Sometimes yung mga phone numbers unreachable, right? Or even if we send text messages, we don't really get a reply. And please always check your emails as often as you check, or even more than you check your social media. Usually, companies will communicate with you through email. So, always read the job description, get to know the company more, because added points yon kapag at the onset of your interview pa lang, when you were asked if you research about the company and you really know about the brand and the products, that's really an advantage for you during your interview. That's it for me.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Nina. Thank you as well sa pag-remind sa ating viewers about updating their contact information. I bet Sir Kim is very pleased dahil parating na rin inuulit kung gaano ka-important ang pag-update ng information dahil nga email and phone number. Expect that as well. And yun nga, email, sometimes hindi siya masyado na-check as often as yung sa text or call. So, thank you for that, Ms. Nina. Before we end, I think gusto ko lang share that someone made a comment na thanking you. Thank you po for enlightenment and giving great tips that will help us in the future. So I guess this is addressed to the panel and also to the speaker earlier. And I just wanted to share this because it shows na how much it has an effect on our viewers and that they are here with us until the end. So thank you very much, Sir Brian. Thank you very much to our panel. To those that would want to know the companies better, you could go to jobs180.com/BDO Unibank /Inspiro /ISSICO Careers /PSBTSI. Diyan yan sa bottom of your screen, may banner dyan. You could go check yung kanilang company individually. Okay, so thank you very much to our panel. We hope to see you again soon, maybe as a member of a panel again, or maybe kayo mismo speaker for one topic. So thank you very much.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so thank you for joining, everyone, and thank you for staying with us until the end. Thank you to our school partners sa aming contacts na nag-disseminate ng information nitong webinar namin na to from AU, JRU, LCC, SPC, LCF, PCC, PLP, RTU, and UANP. Yan. And ang mga schools, the partners namin sa Mandaluyong and Pasig, that we are hoping na nandito with us now. So, just a few announcements. Itong live recording namin would be posted here sa Facebook page namin. So, if meron kayong na-miss, meron kayong gusto balikan, you could check yung video. All of it is there. So, kung meron din kayong friends na nakamiss ng ibang parts, you could tell them they could visit us here. So yes, we are wrapping up. Thank you again for being very active, for asking your questions, for just sharing what you felt about yung topics natin ngayon. Kahit yung mga binati ng happy birthday yung kanilang kaibigan. So at least I know you are here, nagpa-participate kayo. So that said, thank you lastly to our speakers and panel members. We hope that you were able to learn something. Message us through jobs180.com Facebook page for whatever reason. This closes our program today. Once again, this is Robert from Jobs 180. Stay safe, everyone. See you soon and goodbye.